Welcome to episode 38 of the Rise Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, Carlo. Today we are taking a little bit of a deep dive into the science around one very controversial topic. Is fasted cardio really better for fat loss? Stay tuned to find out. If you like this podcast and you enjoy the content, a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts will be awesome. Happy listening. When talking about fasting, it really feels like you're talking to teens. There are people that swear that fasting is the best solution ever to lose weight, and there are people that say that fasting is, whatever, it's fine. But not only. There are also people that swear that doing fasted cardio right in the morning is the best thing ever that makes them lose a lot of fat. Whereas on the other hand, there's people that say that fasted cardio is irrelevant or doesn't give you any particular advantage compared to doing regular cardio after a meal or a snack. So since I don't want to belong to any of those two parties, I decided to dive a little bit in the science, and I want to report you a study that can shed some light on this eternal battle. So is fasted cardio better than fed cardio for fat loss or for burning fat? Before giving you an answer, I want to give you a few seconds to think about and answer yourself. What do you think? Okay, time's up. And the answer is fasted cardio doesn't make any difference compared to fed cardio. Whoopsie doopsie. Sorry. Of course, if you want to go ahead and read the entire study, I will post a link of it in the show notes. But for the sake of this podcast today, let me go to the study with you so I can explain a little bit in a simplistic way what happened there. First of all, there were two groups of women, young female volunteers that were randomly assigned to one of those groups, either the training fasted or the training fed. So the training fasted had an overnight fast and went straight to a steady state cardio session of an hour, and the fed group had some meal, a snack, before doing the same steady state hour-long cardio on a treadmill. The steady state cardio sessions were 3 times a week, an hour long, under monitor condition to be sure that there was moderate intensity. And here is the key, because moderate intensity usually is the intensity that is recommended to increase the usage of fat or fat burning in your body. The other element that's super important to keep into consideration to make something out of this study is the subjects were provided with customized dietary plans designed to induce a, surprise surprise, calorie deficit. Among the other important elements is that the participants were given nutritional counseling throughout the study to help ensure dietary adherence, and self-reported food intake was monitored on a regular basis. Long story short, they were requested to stay under a specific amount of calories and track the calories they were eating through an app. In the case of this study specifically, MyFitnessPal. Now, I said it in the past and I still can say that today. If you want to lose fat, you do not necessarily need to do any kind of physical activity as long as you are in calorie deficit. And this is still true. Although there's a lot of data that confirms that a diet plus an exercise program is far more effective in promoting long-term weight loss than with a diet only. And it makes sense, because if you keep the energy level consistent but you do more activity, aka you consume more calorie, chances are you might lose body fat or body weight a little faster and more consistently over the long term. Once again, you do not need to go to the gym and become a power lifter. When it comes to exercise, you can do very simple things, as the study here, that is, walk. In this case, steady state aerobic training, similar to basically walking, for an hour, 3 times a week. But I really recommend you that you walk more than 3 times a week. That's what I want to say. I suggest you that you walk at least 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day. Better if you can do 10,000, but hey, 10,000 might require a longer time, so 7,000, 8,000 would be great already if you can do this on a regular basis. So after 4 weeks of these fasted versus fed aerobic activity 3 times a week, what did the study find in the participant groups? Well, the findings indicate that the body composition changes associated with aerobic exercise in conjunction with a hypocaloric diet are similar, regardless whether or not the individual is fasted or fed prior training. What does this mean? It means that if you want to do fasted cardio because it makes you feel great, perfect, go ahead, do it. If you want to do cardio having a snack before because it makes you feel better, again, perfect, great, do it. The point is, if you're looking for ways to lose fat that are sustainable in the long term, the rule is simple: calorie deficit. And I add on this, exercise, because exercise makes you feel mentally better. It's really important for your health, and also, if associated with a calorie deficit, is the thing that helps you lose weight and maintain the weight you lose in the long term. The next time your trainer tells you that you absolutely have to do cardio without eating before for 9, 8, 12, a million hours, tell your trainer to gently go F himself or herself. Your trainer is wrong. There's no substantial difference in eating before or after doing some cardio or some training. One thing that I say, although, if you're doing weightlifting and you want to do weightlifting in a fasted state, well, good luck with that, because if you really are pushing hard, being on an empty stomach, being basically hungry, will greatly reduce your performance and your results. So if you really are into doing fasted training, I would suggest that you eventually do some fasted cardio, eat something, and then go ahead, do the lift part, because lifting on an empty stomach is miserable. And I'm saying this also by personal experience. Of course, several studies were done on this topic, so the one that I chose today is just one of the few. We'll post a link in the show notes with a peer review paper that takes into consideration a wider number of studies. If the single study that I explained to you today does have some flaws here and there, given the nature of how it was made, the peer review study takes into consideration several more, and the result is still pretty much the same. There's no significant difference if you do cardio while fasting or while having food in your stomach. Ultimately, it is a matter of your preference. So keep doing the one thing that you prefer, because this way you will be able to keep on doing it consistently. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something new today. Tell me, I'm curious. Which side were you on? Were you fasted or non-fasted? Let me know on my Instagram channel at thecarl.fit. And if you like this podcast, please share it on your social channels so that more people can listen to it. Feel free to tag me as well. Have a happy rest of the week.